Hello and good morning from our house in Orlando. I'm about to go outside and take a lift to MCO, Orlando International Airport, to rent a car to drive back home to Pensacola because my flight was canceled. So I've made it to Orlando International Airport and I am crossing the streets to go pick up my rental car. I just spent about an hour inside with the reservation process. The car company that I'm renting with today is called Dollar and I've never used them before, and I'm also bringing this massive bag with me that I would have checked had I been on a flight today. And this is the car that I'm going to be using to drive back home to Pensacola. It's probably going to take around 7 hours, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but I finally have a car. Okay, so I'm in the car right now and I'm driving to Pensacola. My Lyft driver just dropped me off at arrivals and I went downstairs and I waited a very long time to get this car. And now I'm finally heading home to Pensacola and I'm driving an SUV. But before I officially get on the road and take the turnpike to Pensacola, I am going to grab a quick little bite of breakfast here from McDonald's. All right, so I've taken I-4 down to the turnpike. Here I come, Pensacola, finally. So I've barely made it down to the turnpike and now I'm in standstill traffic, which is just wonderful today. But here's the, I called it breakfast, but here's the food that I got from McDonald's, as well as some snacks and then some beverages that I'm enjoying this trip that I brought with me. So I've hit some more standstill traffic. I've almost made it to I-75 at least, so that's one leg of the trip for the most part, but I do need this to sort of pick up the pace a bit so I can make it to Pensacola around the time that it gets dark. All right, so I finally made it to I-75, so I'll take I-75 north down to I-10, and then I'll take I-10 west to Pensacola. So of course I-75 is pretty stop and go as well. This McDonald's right over here is actually a pretty important McDonald's to myself and my friends when we used to live in Gainesville and go to school there and have our annual passes and go to Disney World. When we came back from Disney very late at night, we would stop at the McDonald's sometimes. All right, so I've made it to a rest stop just to stretch my legs a little bit. I am in Gainesville, so I'm making some progress, not as much as I would definitely like to. I do not think that I'm going to make it back to Pensacola by the time that the sun sets, just given the congestion, standstill traffic that I've been experiencing the entire time from Orlando, which has been really frustrating, but I'm at least making it to Pensacola today, which was the entire goal after having my flight just completely canceled again this morning. So what I considered my breakfast this morning will probably have to be my lunch as well, just so I can try to make it home on time. So I'm gonna get myself some snacks here at the rest stop. So I already have my Mountain Dew Code Red, and then I'm getting some Voodoo chips there as well. Here my next checkpoint is just making the transition from I-75 to I-10, so I can continue going north and then start to go west across the Panhandle for a very long time. Okay, so I'm now merging on to I-10 west to head towards Pensacola. I have to pass through Tallahassee, but I am getting not close, not even halfway, actually. Way down upon the Swanee River is a song that I would sing with my brothers every time we drove to college. Hello from Tallahassee. I just filled up the car with some gas. I'm getting close. I'm definitely more than halfway now, at least. I'm not sure if you can read that, but it says Pensacola I-10 west, so I'm getting close. If it's on a sign, that means I'm getting somewhat close, right? That's what I'm telling myself, but I should just be able to make this final stretch all the way to Pensacola, and I do think that the sun is probably going to beat me. It's probably going to be setting here pretty soon, but it'll be close. It definitely does look very gorgeous when the sun starts to set, just heading this direction back towards Pensacola. Just something I've always appreciated about the drive to get back home. Back when I was in college in Gainesville, this is probably my favorite stretch of road on the drive from Pensacola to Gainesville / Orlando. Just right here, this, for whatever reason, this stretch with these trees and this bridge, it just feels very northern. This is also something that we would do when we were driving home past this particular exit. We would look at the sign and yell, "Sneeds!" Because that's just something silly that we did back in the day and continue to do it. Because this exit is for Sneeds, and it's just a funny name. Sort of a fun fact about this particular exit, you can't really see, but there's a McDonald's over there. A lot of McDonald's today. My car completely died over there, and I had to get towed from here all the way back to Pensacola. That happened in college, and that was an experience. That was a 2.5 hour towing trip. So it's pretty hard to see, but I'm about an hour away from Pensacola right now. This particular exit is the exit that my brothers and I would take to get to Boy Scout camp a long time ago. So I'm getting close. Very close. And I did it. I've made it to Pensacola. I am heading to the airport to return this car and finally go home. So right now I'm at Dairy Queen refilling my Nissan Rogue before I return it at Pensacola Airport. And I think Dennis is going to be picking me up here in a little bit. I made it to Pensacola. Hooray! This intersection right here is actually where I got into my first car accident A long time ago, I was heading to go to Boy Scout camp actually with Dennis, and I was turning onto the on-ramp to get onto the interstate, which is where I just got off the interstate coming towards Pensacola, and it happened right here. And hello again from Pensacola Regional Airport. I just need to find the signs to follow to return my car, and then Dennis and Dad should be picking me up pretty soon, I think. All right, so I returned the car in the parking garage, and now I'm just heading across the street to the main terminal to return the keys and then meet up with Dad and Dennis. All right, and I've successfully returned my rental car. This is where I would have picked up my bag had I had a flight today. And let's see where Travis and, not Travis, I wish Travis was here, but Dennis and Dad, we should be out here somewhere. I finally made it home, and look who it is! Woohoo! It's Dennis! And he's carrying my bag for me like a gentleman.
Hi.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, happy
Did
Christmas
you get
and a
Daddy
Merry
on there?
Easter.
I did. He was like, hi. We're having some dinner. Some ham, broccoli, and what is that? That's a coleslaw. Yes, and then cranberry sauce.
Yes.
And then apple cider, and then some wine that you got from
Biltmore.
Woohoo!
Christmas wine from Biltmore Estate.
Neat. And that's where you went after our trip recently, right? Up to visit
We went
Travis.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Dad has a fire going on right now, and I'm having some key lime pie made by Mom. Now the rest of the family already had their Christmas on Christmas, which I'm glad that they did. And it looks like the rest of these presents, I think, are from me. So I need to go wrap the presents that I have for them, because I sent a lot of presents home with them when my parents came to Orlando a couple weeks ago, and then I brought a lot home with me when I drove home today. No! Dennis! You barely beat me!
Dang.
So
Honey.
in first place we have Dennis with 157, second place me with 150, Mom third place 111, and then Dad in last place with 58.
We got lapped.
Whoops.
Wow.
Roy and Dennis went all the way around the board past us and around again.
You proud of yourself?
So Dennis first place, Roy second place, I'm third place, Dad last place. Sorry, Daddy. You and I brought up the rear.
Well, that's all right.
Somebody's got it, honey. Right?
Did you not take destinations on your last turn?
Alright, so we just got done playing Ticket to Ride, or Train Game as my mom likes to call it, and I came upstairs to my room and I have all of these gifts that I'm going to be wrapping and putting under the tree downstairs for my family. They've already done their Christmas again, so these are presents that I either sent back with them when they came to Orlando recently, or I brought back home in my, what was supposed to be my checked bag, but I have these split up into multiple piles. So this is for my dad, that's for my mom, that's for Dennis, and then this is for my mom and my dad. So I guess I'll start back over here. So this is the pile for my dad. So I have a crystal decanter, I have some hot sauce, a Cracker Barrel hat, the game from Cracker Barrel, and then a little miniature portable vacuum. Over here for my mom, I have this massive Pokemon box. I have an oyby sweatshirt, a board game, Guess the Gibberish, a Thomas Kincaid calendar, and Mickey and Minnie figurines. For Dennis, I have a Blue Eyes White Dragon pillow, a Pokemon calendar, I have an anime cookbook, a Dungeons & Dragons t-shirt, and then this beautiful Vaporeon box. And then for my mom and my dad, I have, so it's a small world game. This is actually the game that Brennan got me for Christmas, but we realized we already had it, so rather than returning it, she thought it would be an incredible gift to give to my mom and my dad. So I think that's going to be an awesome present, and we'll probably play that while we're here. I have some Ghirardelli chocolate for them, a Cracker Barrel gift card, some fun treats from Cracker Barrel, this salsa that I got at Southern Hill Farms, and Arlo magnet because they need that, and then this beautiful digital picture frame, which I think will be incredible. And then I have these Pokemon mystery packs that I made for my mom and Dennis. These are similar to the ones that I donated to Give Kids the World. I have some gift bags here, and then some Mickey and Minnie wrapping paper, so I'm going to go ahead and, I guess, get this all wrapped up and put it under the tree for a post-Christmas Christmas. And good morning from the next morning. So as you can see, I have all of the presents that I had in my room last night wrapped and underneath the tree, in addition to the presents that my family got for me. So we'll be opening up all of these presents, a little post-Christmas Christmas, after we have some breakfast upstairs. And for breakfast this morning, we have some bacon, eggs, and grapefruit grown in the yard, as well as some Jay's Bakery lemon pastries. Right, Dennis?
Yep.
Hooray.
Oops.
So this is Mom's Pokemon Advent Calendar that she's been opening up for this entire month. And she has one more to go. She waited until I came home to open up the very final one.
And
And it's
here
at
it
the very
is.
bottom, right?
Number 25. If I can get to it.
This has been pretty much filled with just cards and packs and all sorts of fun Pokemon stuff, right?
I can't hold it. There we go. Ooh, looky. Oh,
Look at that.
The last one, a Brilliant Stars pack.
Ooh, it's a Whimsicott.
Ooh, okay.
Whimsicott's lucky. So now we are outside because where are we heading, Mr. Dennis? Park. We're going to the park because we always go to the park every Christmas. Usually on Christmas Eve, but we're making it work this year. So Dennis and I are heading to the park to play a little basketball and just continue a Christmas tradition. And then when we come back, we're going to open up some presents over by the tree. Right, Dennis? Yep. Yay, he made it. Did you see that? Hello, Dennis. We've made it to the park behind our house that we always went to on Christmas Eve. That has not always happened every single year, but we still try to make it happen, right?
And we're gonna shoot the rock.
Wait a minute, the last time we were here, was there still the pirate ship? Is that gone now? They finally took it away? I'm pretty sure that the pirate ship was here. That's been here for forever. And now they just have this structure. Oh man. All right, so Dennis and I played some horse, and then we played some basketball, and Dennis won both games. That was sort of surprising, but now we're heading back to the house to open up some Christmas presents.
Well, you know, Roy only makes it to the camera.
I know, right?
Rizai, on the other hand.
Before we go, I'm going to run up here and go down a slide. Oh, it's free Gatorade. Oh God, there's free Gatorade. I said run up as I walk up slowly. Here.
I think I put it on the slide.
What, the ball? That's too dangerous. All right, here I go, Dennis. Woohoo! So after we open up Christmas presents, we're going to be having dinner. Where, Dennis? Chow time? Yeah, we're gonna go to Chow time for dinner, and then we're gonna go to a Pokemon tournament. A Pokemon tournament at TBS Comics, where we went as kids. Our first tourney in 15 years. All right, so we made it back home. It looks like the plants outside have seen better days due to the freeze recently, but we're heading inside to open up some Christmas presents. Hooray, finally. Okay, so we're going to enjoy a quick little lunch here. We're gonna have some soup. Dennis and I are having some clam chowder, and then I have some hot cider right there in my Grandma Hugs Her Best mug. And then we're going to be opening up some presents here by the fire. I think we're just going to open these up and not record it. Just sort of enjoy it.
Now let's do a funny one. I'm ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey!
Funny picture. We're taking some pictures in front of the Christmas tree with the crackling fire. And we're about to open up some presents. You guys ready to open up some presents?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yay! So we are all done opening up Christmas presents. The family, I think for the most part, enjoyed what I got for them, and this is what I got from them. Got a really nice card from my parents. Got some fun Yu-Gi-Oh stuff here. I got this Pokemon calendar that I got for Dennis, so that's just ironic that now I have one too. I got some cordial cherries. I have some fun stuff from the stocking over here. Of course, got the tangerine that I generally get every year. Dennis got me this vintage Winnie the Pooh sweater, which is cool, as well as this Great Smoky Mountains shirt. I said that weird. And then Mom and Dad got me this Portofino Island shirt because they have a little beach house out in Portofino here in the Panhandle. So that's my Christmas haul. All right, so we came outside at the side of the house. That is my bedroom right up there. That is a grapefruit tree, and then right behind me is a tangerine tree. We had that freeze recently, and that affected a lot of my parents' fruit trees, which they absolutely love their fruit trees. But they harvested as much as they possibly could, and there are tables and wheelbarrows full of fruit in our back playroom. There's some more trees back over here, and the back of the yard back over there as well. This is a fire pit that we'll probably use maybe at some point during our time here. And you can see that they did their best to cover some of the trees as well to just protect them through the storm, but they have so many more fruit trees than they really know what to do with, because again they sort of just keep and harvest all the fruit trees in the back of the house back over there. Also, the yard is apparently 2 different types of grass right now. I don't know how that happened, but we are going to dinner at Chow time. So we're about to go to dinner, but I wanted to show off what my family got for Brennan. They got her some presents too to bring back to Orlando with me. So my mom got her a stocking with some Pokemon cards, of course. Less Pokemon this year, without a doubt. And then my mom and dad got Brennan this, as well as this right here, and then Dennis decided to go and get this little box. Anything about this, Dennis, that you need to tell me about?
Nope.
Okie dokie. All right, and here we are at Chow time. There's Dad and Dennis over here enjoying the multitude of food options. Okay, we are all done with dinner. Hey, Dennis. Yeah. And where are we going now?
We're going to TBS Comics.
TBS Comics, which fortunately, conveniently, is right over there. Also, this used to be a Sonny's, which is now across the street, but now it's a Burger King. That wasn't really relevant, but I said it regardless. And here we are at TBS Comics. What's that?
Just you first.
I'm nervous. We're about to play a tournament for the first time in like 2 decades. So we're inside TBS Comics. Dennis is yawning. And they have quite a Pokemon selection over here, as well as back over here by the counter. They have a buy 5, get 1 on all 4.99 Pokemon packs. They have Silver Tempest, Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, Vivid Voltage, Fusion Strike, and Lost Origin. They have some more Pokemon stuff over here, as well as a bunch of snacks. I miss these kinds of places. Used to hang out here all the time. So we're in the back right now, and there's another tournament going on, but I decided to go and get 6 packs. I got every single one of my favorite pack arts from Silver Tempest, Brilliant Stars, and then Fusion Strike. Let's see what I get, right, Dennis? So what did you notice over here, Dennis? Sitting next to?
Looks like some terrain for Dungeons and Dragons or Warhammer or something. Lots of cool stuff.
So what I'm going to do is open all these packs. I'm wearing my Poke Friends shirt in honor of this evening, and I have my deck in my pockets. Check this out. You ready for this? Look at that. My pink deck box for my Mewtwo and Mew deck that I've constructed. He's very proud. I am pretty proud. Alright, let's see if I get anything in these packs in here. If I didn't, then you'll probably know. So right now we are waiting for the Pokemon tournament to start. Mom's over there looking at the bulk Pokemon cards, and Dennis and I are standing back over here. It's interesting because I remember these whatever these structures are, being at the old TBS Comics when it used to be in its old location, pretty much across from where we are right now. And we're also next to a Blockbuster. We used to be a Blockbuster, just reminiscing on that. These are the packs that I opened, and this is pretty much the best card that I got. So I don't think I'm going to be putting anything in my deck that I have right here, but hopefully I can use this deck soon. So right now I'm playing Dennis at the moment. This is my current situation, and this is Dennis's at the moment. I just traded for this card right here, but more on that a little bit later, I think. Okay, so Dennis and I played our Pokemon match, and I ended up winning, which was really cool, and we're looking at this binder of their singles, and I'm considering getting this right here, and they do have this Arcanine, which is awesome, as well as potentially this. I'm not sure though, so I'm trying to think about it. Okay, so I got a Yoo-Hoo and a Skittles for myself, and then I got these 3 cards, and then I also got 6 more packs of Silver Tempest for Dennis! What? What? Yes! You can do that? Yeah, I can! Oh. Open up those packs! Alright. Because for Christmas I got Mom a substantial amount more packs than I got for Dennis, so this can hopefully make up for it. But if you get the Altart Lugia, I want that. Oh, man. Alright, so Dennis opened up all of his packs, and this was definitely his best card right there, which I'm pretty jealous of, because my best card I traded away for a fake card.
But he did that fully knowing it was fake.
I was trying to be nice. Alright, so Dennis and I are playing again.
Get ready for this, baby.
I'm ready for this. Are you finally gonna get a prize card?
130. I knocked you out.
You knocked me out. Nice job. So Dennis and I are about to leave, but before we leave I wanted to show off this card. So this is the card that I traded the good card that I got in my packs for, and I knew that it was fake, and there's a pretty easy way to know what a card is fake, just kind of based on the gloss and just how it looks like on the back. And I have a real card for comparison, so I have this Bidoof right here, and you can just sort of tell by the back just in terms of which one's real and which one's not. It's unfortunate because fake cards are getting easier to tell now, and I'm gonna do the rip test for this. So watch this. When you try to rip it, you sort of see how it has that like sticker substance to it there. Yeah, so a real card doesn't do that. So when you rip a real card, so sorry about this Bidoof, it rips and there's like this black ink on the inside of the card there. So that's a really good way to discern when a card is fake or not. So I got a fake Scizor, unfortunately, but I do think that the kid appreciated the card that I at least traded him for.
So if you want to tell if your really expensive card is fake, you should rip it.
Yes. Alright, so we're back home from our Pokemon event that ended up just being sort of a trading, battling league, and now we're gonna play this National Parks game. Dad has a fire going on in the fireplace, and we're gonna have some rum and cokes. Okay, so we watched a 10-minute long video tutorial on how to set this National Parks game up, and I think we're about ready to start playing. Hopefully this is a little bit confusing. I hope so. We're gonna try to figure it out. This is definitely a little bit more convoluted than anticipated.
I've noticed the new board game trend is death by tokens. There's going to be tons of tokens.
Okay, so we did it. We completed the game. It took a little while to figure it all out, but Dennis ended up winning the National Parks game. Good job, Dennis. It is very early in the morning. Right now it is like
Mr. Game Success.
Getting close to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Big brain!
Pretty much.
Oh my goodness.
This was fun. Challenging, but it was fun. But now we're all tired and
right? But now that we know what we're doing a little bit more.
Took a while to learn. Once we got it, it was pretty fun.
I guess time to head to bed.
Who is wearing my sweater?
I am wearing your sweater.
I mean,
Hello.
Santa's sweater.
And good morning from the next morning. We are going to go get some breakfast, right, Dennis?
Guess who else is wearing a shirt given to them for Christmas?
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons and Winnie the Pooh. We are so cool.
That's my favorite Friday night, baby.
Good morning, Mom.
Good morning.
We are at Coffee Cup. Since
Yes.
1945, a staple of Pensacola, Florida. We're gonna get some breakfast, or I guess technically some brunch.
Right, hometown
This
breakfast.
place is as old as I am. I was born June 1st,
1945.
47 years old.
Well, Dad's a classic. He's vintage as well, right? Let's get some breakfast. A little bit late in the morning, but it's still breakfast, right? This place has really cool newspaper cutouts on the walls here, just all about the history of the coffee cup, just in the days of segregation and just how it's adapted and grown since then. It's very interesting. Okay, so we have our food. Dad has a salad over there. I got so much here, and this is what the situation is for everybody else as well. These are Nassau grits, which that's going to be unique and fun. And here we are in Coffee Cup, enjoying some breakfast.
Hey, Ben.
Nassau grits, yeah.
Does it look like Winnie the Pooh is looking down at the food? Sort of?
Yeah.
A little bit? Like he's jealous? So do you know what are in Nassau grits?
Yeah, it's tomatoes, peppers, onions, and usually like some ham, bacon bits, all chopped up, mixed together. It's really good. I love it.
From
A
Nassau?
Pensacola, they call them Nassau grits, but I think it was, you know, either invented or originated maybe from Pensacola. It's a Panhandle favorite. I know that. Hey Dennis, how's your food?
Good.
You got you got the biscuits and gravy and the Nassau grits. Roy built his own omelet with hash browns and bacon and more Nassau grits. Yum.
I got the salad and then you got the...
And how you doing over there, hon? It's your chef salad?
Yep.
And my pecan waffles. And Nassau grits, of course.
Mom and Dad are inside taking care of the bill very generously, but Dennis found this when I was looking at all of the different cutouts that they have in here at the entrance of Coffee Cup. I almost just fell over. They have the origin of Nassau grits and then the recipe right over here. Most of us know and love cheese grits, especially when made with hand-grated cheddar, but Nassau grits, a more exciting dish with ham and bacon and tomatoes, remain undeservedly obscure and little travel beyond Pensacola, where they are said to have been born. Interesting. So we are all done with breakfast, and now we are at a car dealership, right, Dennis?
Yep.
Because we're just looking around at cars. Okay, so we're inside the dealership right now, and we've been having a lot of conversations about the various cars that they have and sell here, and a lot of information to discuss. So this has been an exciting and educational experience today, to say the least. All right, so we're back home from car shopping right there. That is my grandfather's car that my parents drive, and I have the other car that my grandfather had, and that car is 20 years old, which is why I'm in the process of finally, hopefully, purchasing a new car, and we've been really looking at Toyota and Honda in particular, and probably going to go with Toyota, if I can imagine. Over here, this is the fire pit that I showed off, I think, yesterday. We might actually do this. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so any sort of outdoor activities we wanted to try to do today. So, saying that, I think we're heading across the street to go explore the bluffs a little bit. All right, and here we are at Bay Bluffs Park, about to head down the boardwalk here, down to the water. The sun's probably going to be setting pretty soon, and then we'll be having some dinner back at the house, and probably playing some board games. This is an experience that we like to do whenever we come home, just getting to go down to the water by the train tracks. And we sort of live on this street that the park is on, and our property is way down there. And normally we would just sort of come down the bluffs, but this is a little bit nicer to go down the boardwalk, especially for my mom. So what are we doing, Dennis?
I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to do a little hanging contest. Just see who can hang the longest from the bar.
There's this like athletic area over here by the boardwalk. So Dennis beat me over there, and now we're heading down to the water before the sun sets. So I think we're trying to go down to our property down here that we live on. We're going along the water here. Dennis is just walking through. Okay, we did it, we made it. Hold on, Trevio, we can see Dad right now.
I was just telling the boys, I was like, that's gotta be our window.
He's up on top of the bluffs. That's so cool.
So right now I'm talking to Travis on the phone, and then Dad called, and Dad's right up there, because this is our property. We walked all the way down to the end of the bluff. I'm making a video, Travis. Say hi to the video.
Right now?
Hi, video. How's it going?
Are you kidding?
It's going pretty good. Isn't that so funny? Dad's just way up there on top of the bluff. You can just barely see his silhouette on our property. All right, so Dennis and Mom are back over there on the train track, and I was able to somehow make my way through the briars and brush over here. I think our property is somewhere back over here. There used to be massive tree houses. I don't know if they were here in particular. They might have been. This looks familiar. Yeah, this used to be an entire system of connected tree houses. I can see on the trees over there. Wow. This is sad. I used to explore over here all the time, and our house is pretty much way up there somewhere. So I found this music video from 10 years ago where I filmed in that particular tree house, and there's now nothing left of it, which is a little bit sad. Just this fun, aesthetic music video that I made a long time ago. Okay, so we're heading over here into the woods because Mama wants to explore a little bit. We do have to go back to the boardwalk to pick up the car to go back to the house, but hopefully we'll be heading back and maybe doing a little bit of a fire in the backyard. So back over there, that's where Travis threw the dirt clod at me last year and knocked me off of the bluff.
Sure.
And we're trying to figure out, it was Travis, not you.
I know, I was smiling because it was funny.
It was funny. Now we're just sort of backtracking a little bit because we can go up to the main road up here if we climbed up there, but we do have to go back and get the car at some point. Okay, so we found this cavern that we used to come up to the main road. That's fine. This is very eroded. We're going to go walk back to the car and drive that home. I think so. I think it's very easily accessible. This used to be more of like a canyon almost, like a dirt clod canyon, but it's very eroded compared to, well, I guess similar to all the other sand dunes here over by the beach. What, you gonna throw a dirt clod at me? Ouch. All right, so I came up to the top up here, so this is where we could exit the bluffs. There's Dennis right down there. Mom's waiting on us. This is a pretty accessible path, although it's a little bit on the slippery side with all of these leaves. So I think now we're heading a little bit further back to see the location that we used to go up and down the bluffs at. This video is supposed to be a combination of the entire trip to Pensacola, and a majority of it is just going to be us over here exploring the beach, but this is one of my favorite places ever. Just the bluffs across the street from where I live and where I grew up. Okay, so I think we found where we used to go up and down the bluffs, which is pretty washed out at this point. Yeah, we would go down this pathway right here and then up to the streets. There's not a lot left of it right now, obviously. I think we're going back to the water, to the train tracks, to head back down to the car now. Woo, memories, right? So never mind, Mom wanted to explore a little bit further down so we can try to find our actual property. So we're having to head through the woods.
That's the opening. Oh.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just fully exploring at this point. So we're still trying to find a property, which I think is right next to us over here. I tried to come up as far as I could, but it is very overgrown here, so probably going to keep heading this way to see if we can find it, hopefully before the sun sets, and then we can head back to the car.
We're across the street again now. Now we're in the trees on the property.
Dad called us again, and we've made it to our property here, which is sort of hard to see because it's going to be dark pretty soon. But way up there, that's where Dad was a little bit earlier. This looks a lot different compared to how it used to look back in the day. Yeah, it's getting very dark. We used to have an actual boardwalk up at the bluff that we could actually go down to our property on as I'm falling down. But that blew away in a hurricane, probably at some point. Can we make it back over to the water? That's sort of the question before it gets dark. And we did it. We found our way.
Good job, Dan.
Back to the beach.
Good job.
Good job, Dennis. Trailblazing. And look at that golden sunset in the background. And then here comes Mama. Whoops.
You want to check my butt for ticks when we get back?
Of course. Mom really wanted to see her property down there, so I'm glad that we got to do that. But the sun has almost set, and I don't think we should probably be over here after the sun goes down, but we're going to have a fire pit back at the house, and then I think some turkey for dinner. It's sort of hard to tell, but we've made it. Hooray, you did it, Mom. Yay.
Yay.
Bay Bluffs Park.
Whew, it gets harder the older you get.
Now we're heading home to have some dinner.
I think I counted it one time. It's like 80 steps straight up the bluff.
All right, so we're back home from the beach. Dad has a fire going in the fire pit outside, and Mom and Dennis are making dinner inside. So we're gonna have some turkey for dinner, I think. as well as some hot apple cider. All right, so we've been enjoying the fire outside, and this is what we're having for dinner. We have some turkey stuffing, asparagus, potatoes, and cranberry sauce. All right, so we had dinner, which was delicious, and then we had part of a Yule log that my mom made a little while ago, and now I think we're going to play this game that I brought home, which is very simple comparatively to the game that we played yesterday. Are you ready?
Who gave you this damn game?
Oh, you're playing this game at late night.
Chicken nuggets!
Yes!
I was gonna
Mama got one!
So we just played our game, and I wanted to show off Mama's Yule log that she made. What is this made of, Mom?
Pumpkin.
Okay.
Pumpkin and cream cheese.
And butter.
And butter.
Sounds pretty good. Okay, we're going to sleep now. Goodbye. And good morning from Whataburger. We are going into Whataburger to get some breakfast, and my dad brought these mugs that are apparently older than I am for nickel coffee. All right, so we got our food here to bring back. We got some honey butter chicken biscuits, some breakfast sandwiches there, some breakfast bowls, and they totally did let us fill up this coffee. But apparently, if you're older than 55, you get coffee for free anyway. Right?
Yeah, let me tell you about the Nickel Boys. There's another Whataburger down the road here.
Yeah?
It's Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I used to hang out there right now. But anyway, they had a group there called the Nickel Boys, I call them. Retirees, military, federal, civil service. And
With their nickel cups?
they would come in there and drink nothing but nickel coffee. They had smoking section on one side, non-smoking on the other.
Yeah.
So they'd pollute the bathrooms, take the best parking places and sit there, pollute the air,
And drink their
nickel
coffee.
you know, all morning, making their wives real happy, I'm sure, you know. Yeah, the Nickel Boys, I call them.
So we made it back home, and we've had some breakfast with Mom upstairs, and what we're doing now with Dad, because we had a little trip with Mom yesterday across the street to the Bluffs, we're going with Dad to Palafox Street, which is downtown, because there's a cool like photo opportunity over there, I think. Yeah. All right, so we've made it downtown. This is the Sanger Theater, which is where we all performed as kids, and this is what we were looking for downtown. These balloons right here, just a really cool photo opportunity. They used to have like multicolored umbrellas, and now they have balloons. We just took a bunch of pictures with Dad, which was so much fun. Isn't this a cool opportunity here? It's about to pour down rain. It's about to thunderstorm probably in about an hour or so, so we wanted to try to make sure we made it downtown so we could take a picture with this, because Dennis just saw a picture of it yesterday. So that was pretty fun, just to take some pictures with these balloons along the street here. Mama is back home juicing some tangerines and grapefruit, and we're just enjoying some quality dad time, taking Instagram pictures. This is right behind the Sanger Theater, but I've never been here before. Gourmet cinnamon rolls and Dole Whip. Look at the menu in there. Wow. Oh, that looks really good. So now we're driving down to Palafox Pier just to see if there are any boats down here that are interesting. So I hopped out of the car, and Dad and Dennis are driving around because I wanted to show off this particular statue, because Pensacola is the city of 5 flags. So Spain, France, Great Britain, the Confederate States, and then the United States. I've always thought that that was very interesting, just a little bit of a historical information about Pensacola. We're down here at the pier, and we've come down here before just to see what particular ships or boats are just ported. Our dad really likes boats, so we dropped us off over here so we could walk around and appreciate the boats that are in port at the moment, which they are all very cool. Pensacola is a very nautical town, and that's why I love eating seafood whenever I come here, which we might have some for dinner tonight. We haven't really figured that out yet. Look at all those boats down there. And of course, Dad wanted to stop by Joe Patty's Seafood to go inside and see what they have. It is ridiculously busy in here right now. Look how popular this place is. So that's where you pay for your food down there after you pick up your number, and then you get it over here. Dennis and I went down there, and I got myself a little Pensacola beer. There's Dad. Okay, it's hard to find everyone in here. We get lost. There's like a gift shop and merchandising area back over here. It sort of bypasses the ordering location. Definitely be more interested in showing off all that they have here if it wasn't so incredibly busy. But pretty much every single type of seafood you can imagine is definitely here. There's definitely a storm approaching, and this is the beer that I got. This Pensacola Bay Lighthouse Porter. I got that right over here. Right now we are driving past what used to be the Joe Patty Seafood Restaurant, where we have eaten out a lot before, and I guess that they've moved, which is a little bit sad, but
Up in town.
up towards downtown, I guess. But we ate there a lot, and it was good. And now we are driving past Joe Patty's, I think on our way back home before this rainstorm hits, because it's going to be a pretty bad thunderstorm. So where we are, they used to do the Pelican drop back in the day on New Year's Eve, and I think that they've apparently moved that to the Blue Wahoo Stadium, I suppose because it's a little bit bigger. But that happens on New Year's Eve. And now we're passing the Sanger Theater again, which again is where myself and my brothers Travis and Dennis performed for countless years over here, and it's changed a little bit over the years, but it's still pretty much the same. Just downtown Pensacola in general, lots of historic locations. On a future trip, I definitely want to explore a lot of downtown Pensacola and historic Pensacola. And now we've ended up at Price Buster's Games, just to see what sort of fun stuff they have inside here, right, Dennis? Ooh, they have so many different singles right here, as well as over there in the display case. They have booster boxes. They have a lot in here. This is our first time ever going in here. Imagine that. All right, we made it home, and it started to rain right as we left the collectible shop, and I got a couple cards here that I can add to my deck, which I'm doing pretty well with this deck. I used to lose every single battle, and now I'm actually winning every single battle. Travis called this morning, and I beat him twice before we went to Whataburger. So I came up onto the balcony because we are upstairs in our kitchen about to have some lunch. Mama's still juicing her fruits, but we came home just in time. It is pouring down rain, and I was originally supposed to fly out today, the day before New Year's Eve, but when my original flight with Spirit got canceled, I just canceled the entire flight and then booked a return flight home with Delta. So I'll be flying home tomorrow, hopefully when the weather has passed. So, we're in the kitchen right now. Mama is juicing her tangerines right there, then pouring them into that bottle, and we're having some lunch. I have some pumpernickel bread and some roast beef and pepperoni and pepper jack cheese and some pickles here and some chips. There's a lot of tangerines.
I'm juicing the homegrown tangerines and homegrown grapefruit.
Yeah. Looks like a bit of a process, isn't it?
It is. It takes a little bit of time, but it's really good.
Cool. I went back downstairs so I could get my beer that I got from Joe Patty's to enjoy lunch with today. All right, so I've been helping Mom out in the playroom, doing some organization. We're about to play some more National Parks game, and then I'm gonna help my mom assemble this that I got her and my dad for Christmas, this digital picture frame. And then I also want my mom to open this up, this massive box, the biggest collection Pokemon box that I've ever seen, full of 14 Pokemon packs. All right, so we're not done with our game quite yet, but we wanted to go to dinner, and we're at a place called Fin and Fork. It's a seafood restaurant that we've never been to before, and it's actually right across the street from McGuire's, which is where we went last year. So we're at a table right now. Mom got the Gulf Coast gumbo over there. I got the Bayou Blue Crab bisque, and then we both got, what do we get here, Mama?
Oh, bushwhackers.
Bushwhackers from Pensacola. So Mama got
wait a minute.
So Mama got the grouper pontchartrain over there. Dad, you got grouper as well, right? I think.
He got fried grouper.
Okay.
I got fried.
And then I got the Gulf Coast seafood platter, and this actually comes with fried fresh fish, and then blue crab claws and oysters apparently, and Gulf shrimp. And then Dennis did not get seafood.
Mushroom ravioli.
All right.
With arugula.
All right, so we just finished up with our food, and now we are heading home to complete our National Parks game. Okay, so we are done playing the game. We are back home. And who won, Dennis? This guy. You won. You won the National Parks game. This game's fun. It is very complicated, but it is fun.
Yeah, once you learn how to play, it's hard at first, but once you play it a couple of times, you kind of get the idea how it works.
I think so.
But you and I tied for second place, so no one...
We did, yay!
I like it,
Well.
yay!
Okay, so now we are playing a new game. This is the It's a Small World game. I said that weird, but we're gonna learn how to play it, and this is for ages 4 and up, so hopefully we can all play it pretty well. Okay, we're all done with the Small World game. Dennis and I beat Mom and Dad, just barely. And now we're playing this Pokemon memory game? Okay, so we are done playing games. Right now we are looking at footage that Dennis took of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia because he is transferring all of his files to me from his 2-month trip in New Zealand and Australia. We're also going through some Pokemon cards, and this probably looks familiar to a lot of people. We might be playing this game that we got for Christmas either tonight or maybe tomorrow morning before I leave. Also, myself and Mom won a game of that Pokemon matching game, but then Dennis, he won the National Parks game from earlier, so I think it all works out, and it's pretty even. But I think we're going to go ahead and probably head to bed, because tomorrow's my last day. And hello from the next morning. We're about to have some oatmeal, and then Mama's going to open up all of these Pokemon packs. So a decent amount of chaotic updates since breakfast. My original flight with Delta, I originally was flying Spirit down to, or up to Pensacola from Orlando, and then I canceled that flight completely after the initial part of that flight was canceled, and then I booked with Delta.
and then that got massively delayed, and then I rebooked an entire flight with Delta to go back to Orlando, and now it looks like that is back to its original time, but then the second leg of my connecting flight in Atlanta is still the original time, so I'm trying to avoid an 8-hour layover in Atlanta pretty much at this point. Okay, so we've made it to the airports, and I am indeed getting on the earlier flight to Atlanta, and I should be getting on an earlier flight as well to get from Atlanta to Orlando, and Mama's wearing my oyby shirt here to send me off. Dad and Dennis are in the car because they're in their pajamas pretty much. But we're heading upstairs. Oh God, this has been an experience, huh?
Always.
That's why I returned my rental car just a few days ago, and I was a little bit nervous I was gonna have to drive all the way back to Orlando, and I don't think that I'm going to have to, or at least I hope not. All right, so we've made it upstairs. This was definitely a quick experience just from waking up and having breakfast. I didn't get to see you open up your Pokemon packs, but you're going to, right?
I'm going to.
And you'll send me all the good stuff. Okay, but I'm gonna head through security. But bye, Mama.
Bye, honey. Love you. Thanks for coming. We love you so much.
I love that you're looking at the camera instead of me in real life. And I've made it through security, and there's Mom right there. Bye, Mama. Bye. Okay, now heading to my Delta flight, which should be boarding, I think, just right now. So I was thinking about getting some sort of a snack here. This is where I usually get some fun souvenirs to bring back with me, but I'll probably have to eat once I get to Atlanta, I think, because again, my flight is literally boarding right now. All right, so I'm sitting in my seat right now. We should be taking off soon, and I'll be in Atlanta in about an hour. I'm gonna do some editing. Alright, so that's the plane that I just got off of, and the flight that I'm trying to get on standby for was delayed. Of course, it's in another concourse as well, so we'll see if I make it, I hope. So I'm heading down the escalator to head over to the concourse that's next to the concourse that I'm currently in. I'm in concourse B, and I need to go to concourse A. I could take the plane train, but because it's literally right next to me, the concourse that I'm going to, I'm just going to go ahead and walk, and it shouldn't take that long. Fortunately, because it was a very tight window of connection in the first place, this might work out in my favor. It was only delayed like half an hour, at least right now. All right, I made it to the next concourse, and I'm heading in this direction just to see if I can make it onto that standby flight. All right, so I made it to my potential gate. This was my original flight. This is my standby flight seat request, and then this is my actual flight if this one doesn't work out on standby. Looks like it might thunderstorm here pretty soon, so hopefully if I can get onto this flight, that might be a better alternative than chancing it with a later flight. All right, so I made it onto the standby flight, so I'm going back to Orlando, and I have an aisle seat. So I ended up getting the window seat because no one showed up. So how's them apples? I made it off of the plane. I'm heading to the ATM to take that back to the main concourse to finally get some food. Of course, I was the very last gates down there, and I'm thinking I'm going to McDonald's, which McDonald's I'm going to find back in the main terminal. So I'm hopping on the ATM, and here comes our ATM right now. And then this one should be leaving here in just a second. I'm so hungry. This has been just such a day, hasn't it? So I'm wanting to go to McDonald's because they actually have Happy Meals with, I believe it's Super Mario Brothers toys, which sounds kind of cool. This is probably my favorite aspect about flying out of this particular terminal, are the ATM stations. They're just so beautiful. And of course this massive, beautiful Christmas tree where the fountain normally is. Okay, I'm going to head down to baggage claim just to see if my bag is down there. I sort of doubt it, but let's find out. There's a very reasonable potentiality that my bag is on my original flight home, considering I took the standby flight to get back to Orlando.
that's the case, I'll just go get some food. And if it's not the case, I'll still go get some food. All right, so no bag downstairs. So now I'm heading to get some food, which I think should be, yes, down over here. McDonald's is not the most exciting place to get dinner, but I'm sort of excited to see what sort of Happy Meal situation they have going on. All right, so this is the Happy Meal that I got from McDonald's. A pretty fun box with a Fanta burger and fries, and then I got a Princess Peach as my fun toy right there, but this was not enough food, of course, so I decided to get myself a Big Mac meal with a medium fry and a medium strawberry shake. Okay, so that completely hit the spot, and I just realized that I both started and concluded my trip with McDonald's, and I'm proud of that. So now it is back downstairs to the carousel to hopefully get my bag. So I waited around baggage claim for a while and my bag never showed up, and then I went over to Delta Baggage Service and there it was. So I finally have my bag and I'm heading back upstairs. Really quick though, I have to finish my McDonald's because Brendan is picking me up over in Terminal A and she just left the house, so I have a little time to go ahead and finish this. All right, so now I'm ready to head outside to meet up with Brennan. We generally pick each other up in departing because it's a little bit easier than arrivals. And Brennan picked me up. Hi, Brennan.
Hi.
And she brought a puppy.
I brought Arlo.
Arlo the puppy at the airport. Where are you going, Arlo? Going on a business trip? And I have finally made it home to Orlando. I am heading inside. I'm tired. I'm hearing some fireworks because it is Christmas Eve. It is not Christmas Eve, it is New Year's Eve. And it's also starting to rain. And look who it is, it's Farley. Hi, Farley. And then Arlo is still working on his Christmas ducks. Hey, bud. Haven't seen you in a while. Wanna come say hi? Where's Arlo? Arlo, come get a duck. Come get a duck. Look at all these ducks. Okay.
So I started this video in this room, so it only feels reasonable to end the video in the same room because this is going to be one long video, just the chronology of my experience getting from Orlando to Pensacola and then back to Orlando, which I decided to make it one long video because I've done this before. This is going to be very long. I can already tell because I started to import the video from this entire trip. So if you have watched this whole video, just this experience of just going home to Pensacola for a little post-Christmas with my family, then I really do appreciate it. It felt like it was a little bit less effort to just continue the same video versus just trying to make each day its own individual experience, just because I wanted what ended up happening, which was just a casual visit home with my family just to play board games and Pokemon and eat food and just do our usual Christmas traditions, just exploring the bluffs across the street and just Pensacola in general, just doing a lot of what we like to do when we're together. And Brennan worked this entire week at work, otherwise she absolutely would have wanted to come with us. We spent Christmas Eve and Christmas with her family, so I wanted to make sure that I at least got to go home for Christmas, and then I'm back home on New Year's Eve. And it was a good time, and I'm glad that I got to do that. It definitely impacted my travel a lot, just this time of year, the holiday time of year, with the flight cancellations and the delays, which was the hardest part of this entire trip, but I'm glad that I made it work because as I get older, I feel like this is a lot more important to try to make happen, are just these particular trips, just for my mom and my dad, and then my brother, Dennis, Travis, and his wife, Christine. They just had their baby, Isaac, and then they had their other baby, Margot, obviously, and then Dennis, who just got back from a trip to New Zealand and Australia, so he's going to be going back to Atlanta very soon. So just that we can make any sort of a holiday experience happen at home and just have like a little Christmas, it meant a lot. And I'm very glad that I'm back home, and I'm pretty tired, but I had a fantastic time. I got a lot of fun presents. I gave Brennan her presents from my mom and Dennis, which were really nice. I think she got a shirt, a similar shirt to the one that I had. She got some like cosmetics, I think, or lotions, or moisturizers, something in that category of gift. And then Dennis got her some earrings, which was really nice. I think that's all I have to say. I'm tired, and it's New Year's Eve, and that was 2022, I guess, and it was a lot of fun. Thank you for hanging out with me the past multiple days that I went to Pensacola and came back home. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.